Hey guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota in Noblesville, Indiana. And today we're going to show off the 2.5-inch TRD factory installed lift available on a 4th gen Tacoma. Let's get started. So what we're looking at here is a 4th gen Tacoma. This is a 2025 model year. This is the second year of the 4th generation Tacoma, and for 2025 model year, Toyota has added a 2.5-inch TRD factory lift option that is available as a factory install option only. They are telling us that these are going to be shipped to the dealers for a dealer install option. So if you have a 2024 or if you have a 2025 that doesn't have a TRD lift, that should be available later this year to be installed by your dealer. A couple advantages of getting one installed from the factory is it's going to be a little bit less money. The factory does not charge for labor, so any accessory that's on your Moroni label or your window sticker is going to be installed for free if it's on the sticker. If it's done at the dealer, the price is typically the exact same. However, it is going to charge, the dealer will typically charge some kind of labor element. If it's a floor mat or something like that, the dealer wouldn't charge anything for that. But on a lift kit, there would be several hours of labor involved. So that would be something that would be a little bit cheaper to have as a factory installed option. For starters, we're going to go ahead and talk about which configurations is this available on. This is going to be available on any SR5, TRD Sport or TRD Off-Road model. It doesn't matter whether it's a long bed or a short bed, and it doesn't matter whether it's a gas or a hybrid. If it's a double cab configuration and it's not a Pro or a Trail Hunter or an SR, the lift kit will be a factory install option on that. And therefore, I think it would be safe to assume that when the dealer installed option or the DIO option is going to become available, then we should be able to retro any particular 4th generation back to that. Let's get up close and take a look at the actual shocks. One thing that I've noticed here, and I have a reference point on this TRD lift kit from the factory. I also have a TRD Pro to my left, and I have a TRD off-road without the lift kit to my right. So we'll take a couple measurements at the end of the video just to kind of see if we can analyze exactly what we're looking at here. But what we can see just visually is it has a really good looking TRD aluminum upper control arm. We went ahead and just stuck a magnet to it, and I can tell that it is not sticking at all on my microphone. So I know that this is an aluminum upper control arm. For comparison's sake, it looks identical to the upper control arm on the TRD Pro. It is obviously silver versus red, but it looks exactly the same. You got your red coilovers, and then if you notice on the side of the shock, it does say TRD tuned by Bilstein, and that's pretty standard. The TRD off-road of the previous generation, as well as the 4Runners, the TRD off-road models are always a Bilstein shock. So no different here for the 4th generation. Definitely looks a little bit better with the red springs as opposed to the black springs on the non-TRD lifted model. On these 4th generation Tacomas, we have shocks instead of leaf springs, unless you're looking at the SR model. So on this particular one, we are going to go ahead and get a little bit of a stiffer rear end. Let's go ahead and measure the levelness of it. We know that it's 2.5 inches total. For comparison's sake, we want to go ahead and just use a normal level. I'm going to go ahead and stick it on the roof, and I'm going to measure it, measure the level with the point of the level on the right here, kind of centered up to where the two doors meet. And the reason I point that out is because I want to have the same measurement on the truck that doesn't have the TRD lift. So again, this truck is the same as a TRD off-road, so the stock comparison truck, I want to go ahead and add 185 pounds of my own weight to the bed. And then we'll go ahead and have Josh hop on up here, another 210 pounds. And you can see right there that it's pretty close to level with 400 extra pounds of payload in the back of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the exact same measurement on this truck without the TRD lift. We'll go ahead and do it on the same exact spot on the roof. The level is going to be pretty centered right here with the doors. So we know that right now we have some severe positive rake, which is standard for a factory truck. I'll go ahead and sit on it real quick at 185 extra pounds of payload. And then Josh will sit on here with another 210. So it looks like the TRD Sport or the TRD lift truck over here does have a little bit firmer of a rear end shock, just based on measuring the same level with the same 400 pounds of payload in the back. Okay, so before we actually measure total height on all 3 trucks, we're going to go ahead and talk about the tires. So a TRD off-road Tacoma is going to come with a 17-inch wheel. This particular 17-inch wheel is going to come with a BF Goodrich trail terrain, all-terrain tire. This is essentially a 32-inch tire. The exact size is a 265/70/17, and it measures, according to the spec sheet, 31.6 inches in diameter with 11 inches in width. Over here, this is the lifted model, and again, this will come with the same BF Goodrich trail terrain tire, but we went ahead and upgraded this. So we typically will go with a Toyota Open Country on all of our builds. This is the AT3. This particular tire is a LT 285/75/17, and it measures at 33.9 inches in total diameter by 11.3 inches wide. So it's very similar in width to the actual stock tire, but it's about a little over 2 inches larger. With that extra 2 inches of additional height on the total diameter, you're going to be adding about 1 inch of additional ground clearance, because you're going to be taking half of that from the bottom of from the ground to the center of the hub. So in terms of overall ground clearance upgrade, Toyota says that this lift kit will give you 2.6 inches of additional ground clearance. And then of course, because this tire is 2 inches larger than the stock 32-inch, it's going to give you 1 additional inch of ground clearance. So having this particular tire wheel combination of a 34-inch tire with this additional 2.5-inch lift kit, you're actually going to be getting an additional 3.6 inches of additional ground clearance. So over here, we're looking at a stock 2025 TRD Pro Tacoma. This is going to have a Goodyear Wrangler Territory RT. This is going to be a fairly aggressive sidewall tire. Again, an all-terrain tire. It's a 265/70. And a 265/70 is going to translate to 32.87 inches in total diameter. So this particular tire is kind of right in the middle. The stock blue one that we measured over here is going to be a 32-inch. The TRD Pro is going to be on a 33-inch tire. And then we've added the 34-inch Toyota Open Countries on the one with the TRD lift. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to measure all 3 trucks. So we're going to measure stock, and then a TRD Pro, and then a TRD off-road with the Toyota TRD factory installed lift kit. So what we want to do is we want to measure from the highest point in the vehicle, which of course is going to be the shark fin antenna, assuming that you don't have a roof rack on the truck. So we're going to make sure that we're measuring level outward, and then we want to make sure that we square off the tape. Okay. So this is going to be right at 74 and a quarter. 74 and a quarter is going to be from the top of the shark fin to the ground. Okay, so next we're going to do the TRD Pro. Same thing, square up our levels. Okay. 76 inches tall. And then this is going to be the TRD off-road with the TRD lift kit with 34s. The other 2 trucks just have their factory tires on them. Okay. It's going to be just under 77. Yep, just under 77 inches. Okay, so now if you're in the market for this vehicle, a couple things that you may need to know. There are not a lot of dealers out there that are ordering them with the TRD lift kit. So if you know exactly what you want, you know exactly what color and features that you want on this particular truck, you may want to get with your dealer and take one of the vehicles that they have that's in their allocation status, as opposed to something that's on the ground or in transit, because those vehicles have already been built. If you can get with your local dealer or get with one of our professional sales consultants here at Ed Martin Toyota, we can take one of our units that's in allocation, and if the vehicle has not been built yet, then we will have the option of adding this lift kit to the vehicle. So once it runs through the assembly line, they'll take the TRD lift and add it to that. It does require catching that unit in the allocation status a couple weeks before the truck is actually assembled, so the parts can be there on time. But that's just a little trick that you may need to hack if you want to actually get it on the truck, because again, most of them are not going to come this way. Another cool thing about that, since it'll be on the window sticker from Toyota, it'll be part of the MSRP, and therefore if you're going to lease this vehicle, as of right now, the timing of this video, the resale value or the residual value of these trucks is approximately 75%. So if you're paying $3,500 for an option, and then your residual is 75%, that means that your depreciation is only about 25% of that $3,400. So in essence, if you're dividing the depreciation over the course of the term, you're only paying about $1,000 for this particular $3,400 option on the lease, which is really, really cool. If you know anything about leasing, or if you've leased at a 36-month term in the past, typical rule of thumb is it's about a $1,000 difference, as in the depreciation of the lift kit. You're going to be adding about $30 a month to your payment. So the cool thing is that this lift kit, although it's $3,400, if you're leasing it, it's really only going to cost you about $1,000, and therefore that translates to about $1,000 on your lease payment. And that is our general breakdown of the TRD, the 2.5-inch TRD lift kit on the 4th generation Tacoma. Again, available on 2025 model year as a factory installed option. Hopefully it'll be dealer installed option soon, later this year, for those of us who have bought a 2024 model. If you are calling us to get one of them in our allocation, just let us know that you want one with the model code 6K. That is the dealer accessory code for this particular lift kit that we can get from the factory. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys like it, please hit thumbs up and subscribe for future Tacoma content. And if you have any questions at all, ask in the comment section.